Hi everyone, today we are going to make my pineapple and date cake. It's moist and a little bit sticky. We start by soaking dried dates, 150 grams of dried dates with a teaspoon of bicarb soda. Just a teaspoon. Don't forget to chop those dried dates small. We put the bicarb soda in, and then we put only 100 ml of hot boiling water. Yep. You need to mix them well. I just use potato masher here. You can use spoon or fork, whatever works for you. Try to submerge all dried dates into the water. Then after that, cover it. I just use a little plate here to cover it and set it aside. Then in a different bowl, we prepare 2 cups of plain flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Here I use a half teaspoon, so 2 half teaspoon is a teaspoon. And then half a teaspoon of salt. I use pink salt. And then a cup of raw sugar. You can use caster sugar. I use raw sugar. And half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. You don't have to, but I like the color. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon powder. Two teaspoons of cinnamon powder and a teaspoon of ginger powder. And I use only half of a quarter of cloves powder. It's very potent cloves powder, so I don't want to use too much. And then a teaspoon of cardamom powder. And then we mix them well. And don't forget, I also need half a cup of brown sugar. Yep. And then we mix them all well. Make sure there is no lumps. And in separate bowl, I put 2 eggs at room temperature. I use large eggs, 2 large eggs, and then 1 can of 432 grams of canned crushed pineapple. I put the juice, the pulp, everything. Put everything in it. Yep, and then mix well. And then I put in some sultana, dried sultana, 1 cup. This is optional. I use salted caramel from Nut Via Living product. It's no added sugar, about a quarter of a cup. And then I mix them well again. And now let's have a look at our dried, moistened dried dates. And we are going to mix it into the wet ingredients. Yep, we put them in. And we mix them well. Make sure everything is incorporated. And then now let's move these wet ingredients into dry ingredients. I make a well in the middle and then pour wet ingredients. There you go. Yep. And then we mix them well again. Make sure you get all flour at the bottom. Mix them well with the wet ingredients until They look like this. They are mixed well. Move them into baking dish. Flatten the top. Into the oven for 180 degrees for 40 minutes. This is freshly come out from the oven. I cut one piece up when it's cooled down, and or you can have it warm too. That's okay, whatever you prefer. And I enjoy this with pouring cream. This cake is not just sweet, but it also have a nice fragrance and flavor from the spices. There you go, pouring cream. So that's it. Thank you for watching.